The real names have been hidden to preserve the identity of the person involved in this story. Let's call her Emily Carter. Emily has always believed in the power of the mind. He was the kind of person who read about the law of attraction during breaks at work and wrote positive affirmations on posts it stuck to the bathroom mirror. She had a clear desire. She wanted a house. But not just any house. Emily wanted her dream home. After years of living in cramped apartments, hearing neighbors scream late into the night, and feeling like her soul was trapped between concrete and noise, she decided it was time to change everything. It started with views. Then came the vision board. Then, the sensations. She could imagine herself there, feeling the wind, hearing the silence. And then, one day, she found it. It was perfect. Giant glass windows, nature everywhere, the sound of birds in the morning. It was as if the universe had materialized exactly what she had been asking for. Her heart trembled on the day she signed the contract. The bank approved the financing. Emily moved. And with it, all the faith that I had managed to co-create something extraordinary. In the first few days, she walked around the house in silence, feeling the ground beneath her feet like someone walking in a dream. She had made it happen. That was proof that the laws of the universe worked. But then time passed, and with it came the bills. The mortgage started to take a toll. The emergency reserve was decreasing. Small unforeseen events appeared one after another. And suddenly, she could no longer sleep peacefully. Emily tried to stay positive. I lit incense, meditated, wrote in the diary. But reality knocked on the door every day, with bills and charges. Until the inevitable moment arrived. She couldn't sustain it anymore, neither emotionally nor financially. Had to hand over the keys. The dream house, now it was just a bitter memory. A symbol of something she touched, but couldn't hold. Friends said it was bad luck, that it was the fault of the crisis. But inside her, a question echoed. Why would the universe give me something so perfect and then take it away from me? Perhaps you have already experienced something similar. Have you ever managed to manifest something incredible, and yet it all slipped out of your hands? Have you ever had that feeling of, it was supposed to be mine, and yet you lost it? Right here in the comments. I also lost something I dreamed of. And stay with me until the end of this video, because when you find out what really happened to Emily, maybe you will understand what has happened to your own reality too. Enjoy now and leave your like. This really helps this content reach other people who are also going through invisible battles. Subscribe to the channel because there's still something you need to hear. Emily spent days in silence, sitting on the couch at a friend's house, looking at a fixed point on the wall as if trying to understand where exactly everything started to fall apart. It was difficult to accept that what she had expressed with so much love, so much focus and intention, had slipped through her fingers like sand. She tried not to blame herself. She tried to repeat to herself that it was just a phase, that something better would come. But deep down, she was broken. The strangest thing was that it wasn't just about the physical loss of the property. It wasn't just the mortgage. It wasn't just the money that was missing. It was the symbolism of it all. The feeling of failure vibrated loudly within her. The pain of believing that I was aligned, that I was doing everything right, and still having lost. It was as if the universe was punishing his most sincere efforts. And that thought consumed her inside, slowly. For weeks, Emily had recurring nightmares about doors closing, windows that burst, houses turning to dust. I woke up sweaty, with my chest tight, trying to decipher what those images meant. He began to suspect that there was something more going on, something invisible, something she wasn't seeing, but maybe she was feeling all along and ignoring. She remembered the first days in the house, and now, with emotional distance, she noticed little things. Restlessness disguised as euphoria, the fear hidden in the excitement. She told everyone that she was happy, but inside, she was in constant tension. I didn't know if I could keep it up. The fear of losing existed from the beginning. And maybe that was the first sign. But at the time, she called it excess gratitude. There were times when Emily tried to force positivity. I woke up, put on some calm music, made coffee while looking at the landscape, but my stomach was still tight, as if there was a part of her that didn't truly believe it was hers. She didn't say it out loud, of course. It was as if verbalizing the fear would give him power. But he was already there, and perhaps it always had been. Friends kept telling her she needed to be practical, look for another job, reorganize her finances, try again. But what Emily felt was not just a financial crisis. It was an internal collapse. a silent break between what she believed she had become and what still vibrated deep within her. It was as if his soul said, "You may have created with your mind, but you forgot to align your heart." And now, even far from the house, even with the key already delivered and the boxes closed in some storage, she felt as if she was still trapped in that place. Not physically, but emotionally, vibrationally. Something had been activated within her, something she still didn't understand. But this was about to be revealed. Of course, here is the third part of the script, now entering the deep identification phase, with 2,500 exact characters, without spaces, maintaining the emotional, engaging style, and with a fluid transition from the last sentence. We are not yet revealing the law. We are just creating an emotional mirror in the public. Let's go. Something had been activated within her, something she still didn't understand. But that was about to be revealed. And perhaps now is the time to ask you a more direct question. Have you ever felt like you got exactly what you asked for, but still, something inside you started to close down? Have you ever experienced that moment when everything seemed to be finally working out, and suddenly, without warning, you started to feel like an imposter within your own achievement? Emily didn't say this to anyone, but she felt that way, as if I hadn't done enough to deserve that. As if he had somehow tricked the universe, and now he had come to collect the bill. Deep down, she knew there was something broken inside her. A space that neither the huge windows of that house, nor the smell of new wood, nor the stunning view could fill. It was the "I don't deserve" space. It was subtle, but it was constant. Have you ever repeated in your mind, "This is too much for me"? Have you ever found yourself thinking that maybe you're not ready to sustain something good in your life? Sometimes we think we are creating a new reality, but we are just painting the same internal walls gold. Emily had done everything that is taught, visualized, mentalized, felt, believed, but he ignored something essential. She didn't see herself as someone who belonged that one. And it's not because she didn't want to. It's because, emotionally, she still carried a programming that said, good things don't last. She grew up hearing that too much success is ruinous, that people like her should be content with what they have, that wanting too much was dangerous. And maybe you heard this too. Maybe you're trying to change your life on the outside, job, city, house, relationship, but inside, you still feel stuck in the same frequency of scarcity, insecurity, of not belonging. It's a silent pain, a kind of discomfort with one's own success, as if something in you said, be careful, you weren't born for this. And no, that's not weakness. This is a vibrational misalignment. It's when the reality you create with your mind still doesn't find emotional support within who you are. Emily created a home, but she didn't create the version of herself capable of inhabiting it without fear. And that's why everything started to fall apart, not from the outside in, but from the inside out. What she didn't yet know is that there is a law, an invisible force that makes it impossible to support something externally that is not yet aligned internally. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about now. What Emily didn't yet know is that the universe doesn't just deliver what you want. He delivers what you vibrationally sustains. There is a law that is little spoken of, but absolutely powerful. And it was she who acted in this case. The law of correspondence. While the law of attraction helps you manifest what you want, the law of correspondence shows you who you really are inside and aligns the outside world with that truth. It doesn't matter how much you want something. If your vibration doesn't match what you created, sooner or later, it breaks. That's exactly what happened to Emily. The dream house came, but inside her, old traumas, deep-rooted fears, inherited beliefs about undeservingness and scarcity still lived. The house was beautiful, but inside her, there was still a scared girl, waiting for the moment when everything would collapse. Because that's how the law of correspondence works. As it is inside, so it is outside. There is no point in painting a picture of a perfect life if the soul that observes it is still gray. It's like finally arriving on the island of peace, but still breathing like you're drowning. The universe does not punish. He just mirrors. And what you manifest, if it is not supported by a new internal state, becomes a mirror that begins to reflect everything that needs to be healed. Emily began to see in the house what she needed to see in herself. The insecurity, the fear, the feeling that she was not enough. The house became the stage where his unconscious vibration began to reveal itself with force. And when her frequency began to fall out of step with the reality she had created, The universe acted in the only way it knows how to act, through coherence. Because the external always adjusts to the internal. You may have even manifested a home, a relationship, a success. But if inside you still vibrate abandonment, lack, or guilt, the universe will mirror this back until you cleanse, integrate, and realign. It's not punishment. It is an invitation to healing. Emily didn't lose her house because she didn't deserve it. She lost it because she had not yet become energetically compatible with what she created. She wasn't being punished. She was being awakened. And at this point in the journey, still not understanding all of this, she looked at the emptiness where the house used to be, thinking she had failed. But what was about to happen would change his way of seeing life forever. Emily spent months mentally reliving the moment she left that house. The door closing behind her felt like the end point of a chapter she didn't want to end. But time, even silent, reveals what pain hides. And it was in this empty space, far from home, from expectations, from the pressure of sustaining something greater than her vibration allowed, that she began to listen. First, your own breathing, then your own thoughts, and finally, your own truth. She had not failed. She had not been rejected by the universe. What happened was something much deeper. Emily had received a glimpse of the next level of her journey, a preview of what was possible, a concrete demonstration of the life she could have, as long as she was ready to live it to the fullest, and not just wish. During that time away, she didn't rush to manifest another home. He didn't despair in looking for a quick solution. For the first time, she decided to be with herself. Look inside. He immersed himself in the feelings he had always avoided. He revived memories that he previously pushed under the spiritual rug. He faced the inherited beliefs, the you can't, the this isn't for you, that he carried as silent truths. And there, in that invisible process, she began to become someone different. Not magically, but true. She realized that before she was trying to decorate the perfect house, while the inside was still in ruins. I was trying to build stability on the outside, while inside I was still shaking. And then, something started to change. First, your words. Then, your habits. And finally, your vibe. Months later, she didn't just envision a new home. She found it. But this time, something was different. It wasn't just pretty. It was light. It was safe. It was hers. Not because she had earned it, but because now she knew that he was able to sustain. It wasn't luck. It was vibrational coherence. Because when you heal from within, the world around you rearranges everything to reflect this new state. The home she attracted now was not just a house. It was a mirror, a clear reflection of a woman who not only desired, but who had become compliant with what she asked for. And this is the secret that almost no one understands. You don't lose what wasn't meant for you. You lose what you weren't ready for. And sometimes, the universe shows you what's possible, not to punish you for not keeping it, but to invite you to grow until you can truly receive. Emily did not return to her starting point. She just took a step back to align the most important step of all, the inside one. And now tell me, what have you manifested, or are trying to manifest, but feel like you haven't yet managed to sustain inside? If this story spoke to any part of you, write the words here in the comments, alignment. This way I will know that you are on this journey from the inside out too. And if you want to continue unlocking these invisible patterns that keep you away from the life you are already capable of living, leave your like now. This helps this message reach more people who need to remember their own power. And of course, subscribe to the channel here, because in the next episode, you will learn about the case of someone who seemed to live surrounded by light, but was being swallowed up inside. Her positivity was beautiful on the outside, but empty on the inside. And the universe is not fooled by smiles. It responds to real vibration. Maybe you're feeling this too, and he hasn't even realized it yet.